Hello and buenos días. Yo soy Zinzi Nandi Segura Koenig. My primary language is English. So I'm here to present for ANHE, the Alliance for Nurses for a Healthy Environment in South America, an initiative to assist in climate action for the Republic of Colombia and its new government. So it's called A Model for Peaceful Governance and Sustainability for the Uses of Outer Space, Climate Action, and Environmental Justice. I will be presenting my work in Paris, September 18th through the 23rd, and would love the feedback from this audience on how I can improve in order to get the stakeholders and investors that are necessary to help the South American, but also particularly the Colombian economy at this time. So there are economic solutions to climate action and benefits of a space program and economy. In nearly every part of our lives, we are at least partially dependent on space-related technology. Satellites provide communications, they provide meteorological data on the weather, the rainfall, and the even remote fires, fuego. We have a problem with this in the Pacific Northwest. Fires that start far out in the forest that we're not aware of to respond to. Satellite technology allows us to see the smoke, the fire from space in order to take the fire out. So space technology and satellites are wonderful. They're good things. They can provide better, greener technology if we use it right. So our objective is long-term investment from private sector, so private sector space industries for sustainable space activities to assist with economic stability in a model for the uses of space for the common good, not space for enrichment, space for tourism, none of this. This is space for the common good on Earth. And to begin this, we must stop and phase out what you see here. This is terrible deforestation. The fossil fuel usage is raising the climate to 40 degrees centigrade in areas where it never was. There is not a lot of technology or financial assistance in countries that are suffering the most from climate injustice. And these extractive industries that have allowed for economic prosperity in other countries at the expense of the South American people and its environment. Phasing out fossil fuel usage will help everyone, but extractive mineral mining, such as you see here, contaminates groundwater, takes away from carbon capture, makes illness in the community, and is not sustainable. We must begin providing education and opportunities so that we can have the technology, the minerals, the resources that are renewable. This does not have to happen anymore. So the objectives for the nurses with the Alliance for the Healthy Environment in South America, we must make sure that these align with the new government in Colombia. And it looks like they do, because there is a promise from Gustavo Petro, also his vice president, Francia Marquez, is an environmentalist herself, believes in environmental sustainability and ending deforestation. This is immediate. Deforestation immediately has to end. The extractive mining, there is an immediate need for the investment for technology and education and research in Colombia. Colombia necesitas de dinero por los espacio, vacation, for educational investment in sustainable research in Colombia, not space tourism. So you invest long-term in climate action and justice. The parts of the world suffering the most from climate instability, including Colombia, much of South America, are in economically or environmentally unstable and changing states. In the instance of Colombia, you are at risk for greater rain, heat, disease from disease-carrying mosquitoes. The needs are immediate, but the investment from these space sector actors has to be long-term investment. And that means investment in education and in environmental action, which is not typically how the space community operates. But I will pitch this to the International Astronautical Congress in September, that we must have I will not speak necessarily about Colombia or any particular country without anybody's permission, but I will speak to the general fact that there is a lack of climate justice. The space sector is contributing to this, and how we can change this. So prior to Petro, the new president, the Colombian government did have a space commission. And this was a technical consultation with space scientists in Colombia. There were developments and implementation for certain technologies. 2 satellites were launched. And in 2006, there was a decree that created this commission. What is important to know about this and the order of governance is you see that the vice president shall preside over the space program. So the vice president, when they come in, if they are climate action oriented and willing to engage with a space program that will completely align with the promises made by the administration to the people, with assistance from Lockheed Martin or Boeing, Voyager, any space actors with money to invest in the economy of space. Colombia and Colombian scientists need this investment because, so this is all before Petro. All of this, the Colombian Space Commission, Satellite 1, there was this institute and an executive secretariat. This Comisión Colombiana del Espacio is una public institution. This is part of the government. The scientists advise the government. And this was not successful. In 2014, Santos and the vice president, Germán Vargas, decided to cancel the acquisition of satellites, of the satellite that was set up, with this laughable argument that it was cheaper to buy photographs of the national territory than from foreign suppliers. What is so important about this, all of this took place using SpaceX. SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, provides kerosene rockets to all space activities at this point. Not only do the Russian Federations use kerosene rockets, every other space actor right now is using kerosene rockets. These kerosene rockets are depleting the ozone layer, causing further environmental damage. So we need to move far from that. So Colombia became the 19th country to subscribe to something called the Artemis Agreements in 2020. This is the website where you can see that the Colombian government, prior to Petro, signed the Artemis Accords or the Artemis Agreements. The Artemis Agreements, so this is more up-to-date information about the prior administration, Colombian Space Agency. So this is important. The Colombian Space Agency is a private sector company with financial investors and lawyers, not representing the Colombian government necessarily. So this has caused a problem with the Colombian Space Commission. They were intended to have this first step, the government. Instead, this Colombian Space Agency, which is this is a part of the United States in a way. The United States uses primarily kerosene rockets at absolutely no end date. Kerosene rockets and SpaceX, this Colombian Space Agency and NASA all contribute to air quality contamination from nitric oxide. They deplete ozone. They affect the health of everyone. And what is important is it does not have to be this way. There is no reason for this. This Colombian Space Agency will be in Paris, and she has spoken many times, the creator, Pilar. And the Artemis Accords, I'm going to make very clear. They are a United States document that allows for civil and private industry to continue space activities with kerosene rockets, no regulation on environmental protection on Earth, and with the exact intention to industrially mine, to mine for minerals. Artemis agreements, they allow for the use of kerosene rockets. They promote extractive mining. They do not promote the divestment from extractive mining on Earth, and they propose to further kerosene rockets and further deforestation and extractive mining on Earth and in space, on the moon, and on asteroids. These are not peaceful uses. This allows for private property in space. Space, la luna, el sol, is not anybody's property. But the Colombian Space Agency signed the agreement with the United States prior to Petro in 2020. There has been no development of when this was presented at the conference in March. Pilar from the Colombian Space Agency discussed how she would like to begin a process of an environmental, sustainable, and with climate action in mind, her space program. but this has yet to deliver. And in very importantly, SpaceX, kerosene rockets, and extractive mining, she has agreed to by signing the Artemis Accords with the United States. In 2020, Colombia, the Republic of Colombia, signed the Artemis Accords. So the Colombian Commission, the Space Commission, has signed this. Not just, it is this agency and this agency. This agency has no environmental commitment to Colombia. This agency does. These are the scientists. This is who AHNE and the Colombian Space Agency have to work together. Work together. It's good. It will get everyone to work together. So prior to Petro, the Artemis Accords are signed. This conflicts with the environment and the positive environmental changes we can have in Colombia. So it conflicts with the private sector, which relies on kerosene rockets. In 2022, the Colombian Space Agency was under some criticism. I want you to read this article, please. It describes how the private sector investor, Colombian Space Agency, associated with the International Astronautical Congress and other defense contractors signed this agreement. If you make rockets that go to bomb villages, you make rockets that go to space. These defense contractors are not interested in sustainable environment, they may say, but there is no financial investment. But Colombia can be that financial investment because there is an incredible amount of money circulating in the space economy and an incredible need for the signatories, these space sector, space stats, space companies. They must begin the process of phasing out kerosene rockets. They must begin the process of, I will tell the International Astronautical Congress and other defense contractors that it is time to begin investing in sustainable economic development, sustainable environmentalism, sustainable space economy. So I will tell this to the IAC and these contractors. Now, all of this is long-term investment, no short-term investment. They are going to be challenged by me to give long-term investment, public and private, to places like the Republic of Colombia, which has long-term economic sustainability. It can. Space actors can provide long-term economic stability and sustainability, climate justice, assistance with climate action, and investment from these space actors and individuals. This is what I will say to them. So what we hope, what are the solutions? There are solutions. First, the best part of this is it is the Republic of Colombia, is the model for peaceful and sustainable activities, committing to ending the following practices. Gustavo Petro has said this. We want to end deforestation, end extractive mineral mining, because they come together. There is no extractive mineral mining without deforestation. So this incredible industry that is illegal is violating international law. destroying the rainforest. This must end now. And it can end. There are other ways to do this. Colombia can be a place where the beginning of the educational process for innovation towards a sustainable environment on Earth and phasing out the usage of kerosene rockets, deforestation, and extractive mining. What does SpaceX use for rocket fuel? Kerosene, methane. They are reversing what is called the Montreal Protocol, what fixed the ozone layer and is now being destroyed. These rocket launches are all releasing kerosene and harmful toxicants, oxidative stress in the stratosphere, the mesosphere, and the exosphere, the entire planet. So it is worse than the hole in the ozone layer than before. So what does this mean? He can stop using kerosene rockets. There are other ways that can be developed in Colombia or can be developed with the right amount of investment in these types of programs. The United Nations is trying to help. The United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs is where I am going to go to ask for help for ending this, because a lot of the money is in space, because a lot of the money is in defense. Space and defense are the same. So here's the strategy. In the beginning of August, we're in August right now, and Gustavo Petro will begin the term. The Alliance of Nurses for the Healthy Environment will, myself, potentially, we can engage with Vice President Francia Marquez. The objective being, begin the dialogue for Colombia to serve as the model for a complete and total end to the unsustainable and climatically destructive space activities. So we begin talking, just talking. September, I will pitch these issues in general to the International Astronautical Congress during these dates, and I will challenge them, the audience, to invest in the people of Earth for the common good and announce a call to action to assist countries who are suffering from climate instability and change for the objective of space for the common good. I will challenge them. By October, there will be a chance to gather feedback and begin these processes of addressing the immediate needs, provide training, opportunities for the following. This is the long-term investment. Satellite technology, understanding how to use satellite technology, education for young people, the youth, to learn space technologies and become somewhat independent in their usage of space technologies through investors, long-term investment in a green economy, in education, in the situation that is happening with the people in Venezuela, with the people in Colombia. They all need help. Space has the money and it can benefit because we can see where the flooding happens from space, the watersheds, where the fires are happening. So there are benefits. It's just the population in the developing world has to be educated, and invested in to do this in a sustainable way for the future. So it's the next generation we're trying to help by giving them. My challenge to these individuals will be to help the next generation in developing states. So this is a little bit of the, what I just said, but our objective, right? August, we have the Alliance Nurses for the Healthy Environment engage, perhaps, maybe not in August, maybe later, but the objective is to be actively involved for AHNE, the nurses for the Alliance for a Healthy Environment will actively be involved and aligned with space scientists, the CCE. This is so important so that we can get the government excited about the idea of a sustainable space economy. Solamente green, verde, only sustainable space. It will be the only one in the world that does this. There is no other country doing, perhaps maybe in China, but we don't know, and likely not. Everyone is using unsustainable practices to go to space. So Colombia could be the very first to show space is not about war. Space is about helping. The moon is not anyone's private property. We are the people of Earth, and we care about the Earth. So we will use space to protect the Earth. And this will be the beginning of this dialogue, how Colombia can serve as a model for a complete and total end to the unsustainable, climatically destructive space activities. I will pitch this idea to the Congress in Paris, to diplomats, international diplomats from Turkey, the European Union, potentially the Russian Federation, China, perhaps other investors in the United States and in Europe. I will make this. Lockheed Martin, Boeing, SpaceX, everyone. The objective, my objective, space actors which can begin ending these practices by investing in Colombian economy for a sustainable space ecosystem. This idea of an ecosystem involves the monetary economy, and that is not a living ecosystem. This is economic ecosystem investment. Long term, a unified climate action oriented scientific space program worldwide, but at least first in Colombia or another nation that is invested and is aligned with the objectives of the Alliance of Nurses for the Healthy Environment and the incoming government. So we meet, talk, advise, and then move forward. We know we have the same objectives. We have the same, we want the same thing, a peaceful, resilient, and sustainable economy in South America, in Colombia, in the world. We want sustainable investment. We want a commitment from the space actors to invest in the economy, to specifically now to assist the Colombia's exploitation from fossil fuels. I'll change I'm sorry about this. We want sustainable investment so that Colombia is not pressured to use fossil fuels, so that Colombia can be independent from fossil fuels, mining, and deforestation. So this is a primary goal. Having a healthy, educated, healthy community. These space actors can invest in education, research, and the development of space activities, espacio, activities for the common good, to help people. And this will be a sustainable model. Rather, private sector actors make education for the benefits of assessment of the immediate needs and a divestment from deforestation, mining, and kerosene rockets. So what we want is a sustainable space and environmental economy. We want this to be long-term, and we want this to be unified. A climate action oriented scientific space program, which is aligned with the objectives of the Alliance of Nurses for a Healthy Environment and the incoming government. Thank you so much. Please contact me if you have any questions. Let me see if there is any more to this. So please contact me if you have any questions, and I will follow up when I hear back, and I look forward to meeting everyone soon.